Welcome to Art Unbound. Today, we have a trailblazer in the world of mixed media art, Keith Zenda. He's here to talk about a unique twist on traditional painting, using wool and glue to create stunning, textured works. Keith, welcome to the show. It's great to have you here.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to share this journey. It's been a lot of fun experimenting with wool. I think it's safe to say my studio has never been fuzzier.
Fuzzy and fabulous. And by the end of today's podcast, I think our listeners will be inspired to grab some wool and get creative themselves. But before we dive in, I hear we'll even get a live demonstration later in the show.
Yes, I'll walk you through my process step by step so everyone can see how easy and surprisingly fun this technique can be.
So, Keith, let's start at the beginning. What sparked this idea of using wool and glue in your paintings? It's not something you see every day.
It all started with curiosity. I've always loved experimenting with textures, but I wanted something affordable, lightweight, and easy to transport. Wool checked all the boxes, and it also brought a unique textile quality to the pieces. Plus, it's just funny to work with.
Wool as an art supply. Who would have thought? But I imagine it wasn't all smooth sailing at first. What were the challenges?
Oh, plenty. At first, the wool wouldn't stick properly, or it would clamp in weird ways. I went through so much glue, it was like a baby dye project. But after some trial and error, I figured out the right balance. Now, it feels like second nature.
Well, I'm glad you stuck with it. Pun intended. What excites you most about this new direction?
Honestly, is the possibilities. Wool let me play with contours and dimensions in ways that paint alone can't. Every piece feels alive, like it's jumping off the canvas.
All right, Keith, it's showtime. Walk us through how you use wool in your art.
Okay, let's get started. First, I prepare my canvas with a thin layer of paint. This creates a base for the wool to adhere to. Next, I take a piece of wool and shape it to whatever I need, a figure pattern, anything really. Then I use glue to secure it onto the canvas. After that, I layer oil paint over and around the wool to bend it in and bring it to life.
Wow, that sounds simple enough. I love how tactile this process is. Listeners, imagine Keith shaping a little wool figure right now. It's like sculpting on a flat surface.
Exactly. And the best part is you can keep layering and building textures. Wool adds a 3D quality that is really eye-catching.
So, you're literally giving your art some fluff.
Exactly. It's art within an extra layer of coarseness.
Keith, your art isn't just about technique. It's deeply connected to Zimbabwean culture. Let's explore that. How does using wool tie into tradition?
In Zimbabwe, storytelling is a big part of culture, and wool helps me bring those stories to life. It's like adding another dimension to the narrative. Plus, wool reminds me of traditional crafts like weaving, which have been part of our heritage for generations.
Speaking of storytelling, your pieces have such strong narratives. How do you choose what story to tell?
I look around me. Everyday life is full of inspiration. Whether it's children playing or a mother carrying a baby, these moments tell universal stories of love, resilience, and community.
Beautifully said. Now, Zimbabweans are also known for their resourcefulness. Do you think this technique reflects that?
Absolutely. Wool is affordable and accessible, which makes it perfect for artists who might not have a lot of resources. It's all about making the most of what you have.
And how do you balance traditional themes with modern techniques?
I like to think of it as a bridge connecting the past with the present. My work honors our traditions while exploring new ways to tell our stories.
Do you think this technique has the potential to resonate globally?
Yes, art is universal, and I believe this technique can speak to people everywhere while staying rooted in Zimbabwean culture.
Keith, let's talk about community. How do you see this technique benefiting young or underprivileged artists?
It's a game changer. Wool is clean, easy to work with, and it doesn't require expensive tools. I hope to inspire young artists to experiment and realize that you don't need big budgets to create something amazing.
You've also mentioned giving back through art. Can you share more about that?
Yes, I'm planning workshops to teach this technique, especially in rural areas. Art can be a powerful tool for empowerment, and I want to help others discover their potential.
That's incredible. It sounds like you're creating a ripple effect, one artist at a time.
Exactly. Art has given me so much, and this is my way of paying it forward.
So, Keith, where do you see your wool-based art heading in the future?
I would love to scale up, maybe create large installations, or even collaborate with international artists. And of course, I want to keep teaching and inspiring others to explore this technique.
Big dreams, and I have no doubt you'll achieve them. Before we wrap up, what advice would you give to someone listening who wants to try this themselves?
Start small. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. And most importantly, have fun. Art is about expression, not perfection.
Wise words. Keith, thank you so much for sharing your journey and your woolly wisdom with us today.
Thank you for having me. It's been a blast.
And to our listeners, don't forget to check out Keith's work online and try this technique for yourself. Until next time, stay creative.
Fucked up for the night. Just came to get my money right. You fucked up for the night. I know if I ever see the light, I'll be up in the club and it's so alright. I'll be fucked up for the night, pouring it up and dance to the vibe. I know if I ever see the light, I'll be up in the club and it's all alright. I'll be fucked up for the night, pouring it up and dance to the vibe. I know if I ever see the light. I know if I ever see the light. You fucked up for the night. Just came to get my money right. You fucked up for the night. I'll be up in the club and it's all alright. I'll be fucked up for the night, pouring it up and dance to the vibe. I know if I ever see the light, I'll be up in the club and it's all alright. I'll be fucked up for the night, pouring it up and dance to the vibe. I know if I ever see the light.